Hey kids, Tito James here. Thank you once again for joining me as we take awesome out of the box. I've got a pretty special one for you in this video because we're taking a look at the most affordable 5G smartphone in the Philippines right now. I'm of course talking about the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, which has an SRP of 14,990 pesos. But if you buy it from Digital Walker anytime from now until January 10, they will be slashing the price by 1,000 pesos. So that's 13,990. Anyway, let's get into it and unbox this thing. Okay guys, so here you have it. This is the box for the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. Again, this is the most affordable 5G enabled smartphone in the Philippines, priced at 14,990 pesos. Anyway, without any further ado, let's unbox this thing. Right, so there you go. Of course, you have that separate cardboard box and it is a little thin, so there's no jelly case inside, but you do of course have your usual documentation and like the happiest looking SIM ejector pin right here. Anyway, keep this inside the box just in case, but you know, I'm not sure if you're gonna read it or not, but yes, keep it. And of course, you have the phone itself. This is the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. Let's take it out of the plastic right here. And of course, this is the Midnight Ice color variant. I think it looks really, really nice. Of course, it's glossy. It's gonna be attracting a lot of fingerprints, but that's just something we're gonna have to deal with. Maybe buy a case right away when you order this. But let's set this aside and see what else comes inside the box. All right, so very simple. That's everything else that comes inside the box. You have, of course, the very classic OnePlus charging cable, USB Type-C, of course. I really like this color. It's gonna be very hard to lose, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna misplace this anyway. And of course, you have the Warp charger. I think this is gonna be 30 watts since this is their lower tiered smartphone, but 30 watts is pretty good, again, for the price tag that it's gonna be coming in. Anyway, let's set everything aside. I'm gonna turn on the phone and then gonna give you a closer look at the N10 5G. Unboxing done, now let's take a closer look at the phone itself. And here it is guys, the N10 5G. Now you're only gonna get it in this color variant, which is again called Midnight Ice, which is kind of a really deep blue color. As I mentioned, you're getting a high gloss finish on its plastic back, so it's definitely gonna be quite the fingerprint magnet. So my first tip for you, if you're planning to get this device, when you order it or when you buy it, make sure that you also order a case. I'm not sure if Digital Walker is selling the N10 5G case in their stores, but it is available on Lazada. The phone has a surprising bit of heft to it, coming in at 190 grams. It's still not Samsung Galaxy M51 levels, but I wasn't expecting the weight. You do of course get used to it after a while, and the gentle curves on the phone does make it sit in the hand well enough, making it really comfortable to use. For a tour of the button and port layout, you have the power button on the right side, the SIM tray and volume rocker are on the left, and on the bottom you have the speaker, USB-C port, and the headphone jack. So this is the first OnePlus phone that doesn't have a notification slider, which really weirded me out and I do miss it. You might have noticed that on the back, this phone also has a good old-fashioned fingerprint scanner that works well. But unfortunately, that means we aren't getting an OLED panel that we've seen from OnePlus in their other releases. Instead, we're getting a 6.49-inch IPS display at Full HD Plus resolution with a refresh rate of 90 Hz. In terms of picture quality, it looks pretty decent. It's what you would typically expect from a panel of this sort, although I am concerned about the brightness of the screen. It might not be enough for outdoor use, especially when the summer months come rolling in. By the way, it's also protected by Gorilla Glass 3. To pair with the display, you also have stereo speakers on the N10 5G. You've seen the one on the bottom, but the earpiece plays double duty as the front firing speaker too. Of course, we're getting a punch hole on the upper left-hand corner of the screen that houses the 16-megapixel camera at an aperture of f2.0, which gives us an excellent segue to talk about the cameras on the back. So we're getting a quad camera setup for the OnePlus N10 5G, which consists of a 64 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide, a 2 megapixel macro, and another 2 megapixel monochrome lens. Now, I've only taken a handful of shots inside the home studio so far since it did arrive last night by the time that you're watching this video, but do follow us on Instagram because I will be posting photos taken with this phone there. Which finally brings us to the processing package of the N10 5G. And under the hood is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 690 processor with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. This is the first time I'm actually holding a device with this processor, so I'll let you know how it goes in the next few days, but so far, so good. Navigation is zippy and that 90Hz display does contribute to that, but I did play a bit of League of Legends so far with the default settings and my game went pretty smoothly. We'll see how it goes when I crank up the graphics. As I mentioned, I think this is the third time already, the 690 allows the N10 5G to be the most affordable 5G smartphone in the Philippines right now. So if you know that the network is available in your area or the areas that you go around, this might be a good option if you don't want to spend the bigger bucks. I still suggest that you wait for our full review, which should be up by next week, hopefully in time to still avail of the early bird pricing. Keeping the lights on for the N10 5G is a 4,300 mAh battery, which should last you the whole day except if you are a really heavy user, but there is support for warp charge, so you should be up and running a bit quicker too. Now for an early verdict or my first impressions for the Nord N10 5G. Again, if you're looking for a smartphone below 15,000 pesos that's 5G enabled, this might be a good option. That being said, if you save a bit more money, you have more options below 20,000 pesos. You have the Moto G 5G Plus, the Xiaomi Mi 10T, and of course the Galaxy A42 if you're a fan of Samsung. Of course, we'll be sharing our experience with the N10 5G in the next few days to see if this smartphone is right for you. And that's pretty much it. If you made it to this point of the video, thank you so much for dropping by and spending a few minutes with me. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest in tech, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Tito James. Peace, God bless. See you guys next time, and of course, stay safe, guys.